Hello everyone, it's FallenDice and welcome to another episode of Minecraft Adventures with FallenDice. Uh, so in the last episode, we got going on our UU matter, our mass fabricator and some things like that. And our plan for today had been to continue on with getting into the armor and stuff. But I think we're gonna have to take a little bit of a pause. We'll see at the end of this episode if I can get back to it. But I've been busy to take a phrase from Doc M. We added our final mod to the BurpCraft server, and that is Railcraft. And the reasoning for that was we don't want to add mods that pretty much duplicates the similar things. So it's kind of a lot of the Forge type of mods. You have some of them that do the same things, and we wanted to keep it to having unique mods that have different additions to our server. And Railcraft was the last one we decided to add, and that gives us a lot more functionality with our rails, faster rails, better switching, a lot of cool things like that. But it also adds some more functionality as far as transportation, both fluids and solids and things like that. So I didn't have a lot of time to record, but I've been kind of busy, like I said. So we're gonna basically start today by going and showing what we've done, how a lot of this stuff is made, and then there's a few more things I'd like to do as far as the basics with what we have for our Railcraft, and then we'll get back and do some more of the IC2 stuff. But I wanted to kind of get this stuff done just because it's important. It's key things that I wanted to kind of to get a handle on. But let's see what we got in here. Man, this stuff builds up so fast. Yeah, so I got a bit of UU matter. I just keep stocking it up. I've ran out of scrap a while ago, and that is going to be one of my next projects as well. Is Acatera has come up with a really great cobble generator using Buildcraft and fillers and stuff. And I want to make that to just feed recyclers to continue to feed the fabricators so we can continue to make more of the UU matter. But again, that's another future. But key change is I redid my entire nether portal system. And that was using all of the new Railcraft. So as you can see, I now have high-speed rails, we got boarding stations, I widened up all my tunnels. All my tunnels are up in the actual ceiling of the nether now. Let's see, let's go ahead and grab a rail. We'll take a quick ride to show you what I have, and then we'll come back, and then we'll kind of get to work on the basics of Railcraft and how we craft the different items. And some of the rules too as far as like the high-speed rail. So basically we come here. I'll show you, this is my first stop coming back. These ones don't get powered, and they're called transition rails, but by being unpowered they actually will slow the cart down. If you stop, turn, or transition while you're going too fast on high speed, there will be an explosion, damage, and stuff of that nature. So we use that to control our speed and then get ourselves started back up. So we got, this is the new mine. I won't actually head into there, but that was before we got the Buildcraft, when I was just kind of farming like the copper and the tin and stuff like that. This stop here, this is our cavern. And then if we head down that way, that's our village right over there. We can take a ride to get there if we like. And then we just one more stop along the way. I love how fast this goes too. And I probably could go faster, but I think considering how many stops I make along the way at the moment, there's really no need to get it going really fast. Here's the temple entrance where we have our minecart thrill ride. The addition of Railcraft also affords me some new toys to play with on our rail ride, our Indiana Jones theme ride. So we'll see what we can kind of add for some new types of rides to add into there, some additional stuff. I don't want to go back and recreate the wheel, the stuff I've already done. But as far as new rides, that I think we can have some fun with. And here we are, and this is us at the beginning. And here's our nether hub, which is going through some updates. I don't know if I'd mentioned it before, but going to be doing some changes. Right now everything's half slabs to keep gas from spawning, and hopefully at some point down we'll work on redesigning and that kind of stuff. This was my old nether stuff. Let's see, where's my bow? Like I said, I basically got rid of everything that I had before. I went and got the mats back. Now I just head straight up into the roof, and then all my portals are up there, which makes it easier for me to add new lines and stuff like that. I've kept the old one here because it does connect over there with some of the other guys' stuff, so they can still kind of, if they want to run through to get a quicker path back, it's still there. But yeah, that's where we are right now. So, yeah, let's head back over to our forward post, and then we'll start going through some of the recipes as far as making what we did, and some of our new contraptions we had to make to be able to do that. So anyway, I'll see you there. I'm going to finish writing back, and then we'll get working on it. Alright, so here we are in our Railcraft room. You see we're right across the way from the mass fabricator. I always knew I'd come up with something to put in here. And I was very happy to see that the it ended up fitting just perfectly. That's kind of cool. Anyway, so we have some new items here. This is what was called a coke oven. And coke oven is going to give us creosote oil, which is something we need as a basic tool for starting our beginner track, wooden track, and some coal coke. So let me show you first what we use to make our coke oven, and then I'll show you some of the stuff we get from it. Our coke oven is created by using coke oven bricks. We will create that by placing sand in the four corners in the center and then surrounding it by a brick. Then you then take your coke oven bricks, and you're going to need to place 26 of them. So you're going to place 3 on the ground here, and then you're going to go up and leave the middle open, and then 3 on the top as well. And I can show you that this is basically the top of them. Down here was where the rest of them are located. And once you place that last block, you're going to see these windows open on them. And that lets you know that you've created a coke oven. Now what you do with them there, and I plan on doing some more automation. This is just kind of what we have at the moment. So you come over here, grab some coal. We place our coal in here, and it will start cooking. There we go. Now it takes 3 minutes for one piece of coal to cook. Once it's done, the coal becomes coal coke, and then it also gives us some of this creosote oil. So basically we're turning our coal into these 2 items. The coal coke can then be used up here, and I'll show you that here in a little bit as a fuel for our next part. The creosote oil, however, though, is very important because we need that right away to do our very beginner rail. Now once we get our creosote oil, we can get a creosote bucket, a bottle of creosote. Looks like we also have the ability to do capsules and cans, which I haven't quite figured out how to do yet. We'll figure out eventually. Right now I've just been doing the bottles because it's fairly easy. Now you combine 1 bottle with 3 wooden planks of any type, and you're going to get a wooden tie. When we take our wooden tie and we combine 4 of them, we get a wooden rail bed. You can also take 1 wooden tie and convert it into 4 wooden posts, which is kind of a decorative thing. There's some really cool decorative type of blocks that you can use to make bridges and other types, which we'll do at a later date. For right now, we're just worrying about just the initial design for how to build our rails. Now to make the next part of our rail, we are going to need a rolling machine. And the rolling machine is made using iron ingots on our corners, a piston, top, bottom, left, and right, and then surrounding us in a crafting table. And that will give us our rolling machine. Now I have some rolling machines placed here, Rolling machines require Buildcraft power. So if you look down here, you will notice that I do have power coming up, and that power is coming from engine number 3 of my second plant over there. It's our bank number 3. So that was the unused one for future use. So that's coming over here. The other part comes up and goes over here to our rock crusher, which I created one because it was, something to do, but I don't think I'll ever use it. Now we take our rolling machine, and it's kind of like the automatic crafting table. You put in the desired idea of what you want it to make, and it will then create the item and then feed them into this completed slot over here. You can also place in pipes with pumps or Antarctic gates and automatically pump them out as well. If we take and place 3 iron ingots on either side, we will get our standard rail. Now we can put in, instead of iron, we can add in steel ingots. And steel ingots are actually, instead of giving us 8, will give us 16. Steel ingots are actually created from iron in our blast furnaces over here. And again, like I said, we'll go over that in a few. For right now, we're just kind of showing again how to create our initial items. So we get our standard rail, and then we combine our standard rail and our rail bed, and that is going to give us our first set of track. We create that track, like I said, by placing our standard rail on the sides here and then our wooden rail bed in the middle. So it's kind of like building your own track. So this is going to give us 16 track, and this is the equivalent of your standard vanilla track. So the old recipe for making track no longer exists. With Railcraft, you have to use the Railcraft recipes. Booster track, which would be the vanilla equivalent of a powered rail, is going to be created by using advanced rail, our wooden rail bed, and our redstone. The advanced rail is created a little bit differently. 3 standard rails, 3 redstone, and 3 gold ingots is going to give you our advanced rail. And again, once we placed our 3 advanced rails here and here with our wooden rail bed and redstone, would give us our booster track. But we don't want booster track. That's our regular track. That's old. We want the new good stuff. So what I did up there is I used the high speed rail. So we're now going to go into how to create our high speed rail. First thing we need for our high speed rail is we no longer use the wooden rail bed, we use our stone rail bed. So that's where this rebar comes in. So we're going to place 3 iron ingots across, and that'll give us our rebar. Once we have our rebar, we then take 3 stone slabs, and that will give us our stone tie. 4 stone ties will then give us a stone rail bed, and then the stone rail bed combined with our high-speed rail, which we're going to make next, will give us our high-speed track. We add a steel ingot, blaze powder row, and a gold ingot row, and that's going to give us our high-speed rail. And then again, like I said, we add our high-speed rail on the sides with our stone rail bed, and that is going to give us our high-speed track. Now, there's multiple versions of high-speed track. We have our high-speed booster, which is what will get us up to speed, and it works a lot better than the standard booster. And that's used with the same thing. We got your high-speed track over here and our stone rail bed, but on the top and bottom of the center we have redstone. We also have a high-speed transition track, and this is the one I use to kind of slow things down. And you see it has arrows. When they're powered, they will power the rail in that direction. And I think maybe if it's powered and you're going the wrong way, it might stop it. I don't remember exactly which, but I just use it to slow it down. We also have our train boarding track, which is what I used at each one of those stations. And that is really awesome. So basically, if it's not powered, your cart will stop right on it and it will not move. You cannot push it off. It's stuck there on this boarding station until it receives power, and then it acts like a booster. So at each one of the stops, I have one of these placed, and that stops me right where I want to get off and allows me to instantly hit the button and continue moving on. So I have the ability to pick my stations, which is really cool. Some of the other things we have, there's the standard boarding track instead of the high speed. Um, we have things like an embarking track, and I think that's the one that will pick up animals or creatures that are nearby as it drives by. So instead of having to kind of make a rail hit an NPC or something, you can actually, it'll suck it into the cart. Has these Y and switch tracks, which makes it easier to direct multiple paths. You can use a switch motor or a switch lever to actually choose which path you want to go, and then unless you know make different types of systems. You can get really complicated here because we have one-way tracks, we have sensors, you can send signals ahead, it can make it so it won't work if someone else is on the track. I mean, there is a lot of things having to do with this mod that we can kind of, as we get going, do, including loaders, energy, so for EU power, liquids, train dispensers, cart dispensers. You can group up a bunch of carts into a single train and have them all take a large amount of fluids from one station to another. Just all kinds of cool detectors and things like that. So as we learn more about this, we'll add these into it. But what we did wanted to show is that reinforced or steel ingots, sorry. And we got the steel ingots from this right here, and this is our blast furnace. Now for the blast furnace, we take our coal coke, which I think I had some in here, or no, it's in here, sorry. So we take our coal coke, the byproduct of baking the coal in the coke oven, and we go ahead and place it up here with regular iron ingots, and it, I believe, takes 2 coal coke to turn 1 iron ingot into a steel ingot, but it's a real simple process. So I use all the coal coke from these ovens here to then power these. You can also put regular charcoal in here, but it takes even more charcoal to make the conversion. So since I'm making my creosote oil already, I just take those and push them up here. The plan is to automate this, which is why we've made all this room down here. I carved all this out, used some more of my CF foam, and apparently I can actually fill this in. I had accidentally filled it in before, and I couldn't see the pipe anymore, and I thought it had taken the place of the pipe. But from what I understand now, I'm being told that if you put construction foam where you have cable, it'll make the cable disappear and look like it's just a block, but the cable is still there. So that's kind of cool. We can use that for hiding our wiring somewhat until we get our facades in from Buildcraft. Here's where the power's coming in from my combustion engines over there. So what we'll end up doing is we're going to put a pumping system from coming underneath the coke ovens to pump the creosote oil into a filling machine. The filling machine will be taking bottles out of a chest and then filling those bottles with the creosote oil to give us our creosote bottles, and then we'll pump those out again into a chest up there to store them. In addition, we'll take our coal coke that's coming out of these and we'll pump those out the side, gather them, and probably send them up here somehow. Well, somewhere around here, I'll figure out how to make that happen. But so they can automatically feed up here into our blast furnaces, so we can keep our steel ingots continually cooking as long as we've got coal. And then again, if we can find a way to maybe take our coal and automatically feed them in here. Although at the moment I really have plenty of creosote oil, because you really only use a creosote oil for standard tracks. So I got enough, I think, to do more than enough standard tracks for like my thrill ride that I was doing. So I'm not too worried about that. I can always, as well, if I need more steel ingots, come over here, change the sapling that I'm using inside here, and I can actually farm enough to do plenty of charcoal as well. So I think I'll do a little automating underneath, and then I'll do a little automating. But let's see, what do we want to do next? Oh yeah, well, I almost forgot. I got to show you first off how we constructed our blast furnace. That actually would be important. And I'll show you right now, the blast furnace comes up into here, and it's a little bit taller than our coke oven. It's the same design, only it's 4 blocks high, so it's got 2 hollow empty blocks in the middle as opposed to the single block that we had in our coke oven. So to make this, we have to first create another special block. So the infernal brick will be made by combining nether brick and soul sand is going to give us our infernal brick. And then the blast furnace brick comes from taking 4 of the infernal bricks and placing them around a magna cream. Again, 3 wide, 4 high, and we have 2 blocks in the middle. And word to the wise, I've been told, if you see this red on here, do not break that block there, because that middle open area is actually filled with lava, and it will come dumping out if you actually break that block, so not a good thing to do. But yeah, that is how we create our blast furnace. Now this here is our rock crusher. I had high hopes for it when I first saw this because I saw it had 9 inventory slots. I thought maybe it would be able to do them all at once. The rock crusher is the Railcraft version of a macerator. Unfortunately, we cannot put overclockers in here. The only thing that's different about this, as far as what might make it better, is that I shouldn't say better, but different, is it runs off Buildcraft power, as you can see, as opposed to Industrialcraft power. So that's about the only thing that maybe if you didn't want to do Industrialcraft, but considering how easy solar is to do, it almost seems a waste to use any of our Buildcraft energy to run this. But when you fill it up, it's just going to take 1 item at a time, and it's going to come through here, and it'll be converted into whichever item we had over there. And one of the items that we would want to do would be our obsidian, to get like our obsidian dust, and it would slowly come over here. The rock crusher does have a chance of giving us the powder instead of crushed obsidian. Normally you have to take obsidian and macerate it into crushed obsidian, and then macerate the crushed obsidian into our obsidian dust. So as you can see over here, we actually got power coming to it now, and we're getting our crushed obsidian. I think it's a 25% chance to actually get it to skip to double macerate it. There we go, obsidian dust. So about a 1 in 4. But as you can see, it still only does 1, so it's not any faster. In fact, it's slower than our Industrialcraft macerator because we got the overclockers. But you know, it looked like a good idea at first when I saw it, so I decided I'd go ahead and build it. And I'm not sure what else I would really want to do with it, but as you can see, this one is a 2 high, and then it's 2 wide, or 2 deep and 3 wide. And let me go down here real fast, and then I'll show you the third special block Railcraft uses to create this item. To create our rock crusher, we're going to need 12 rock crusher blocks. So that means we're going to have to do this 3 times. And we take 4 pistons, 4 diamonds, and a block of steel. So this is a very expensive recipe. That means we need 36 steel ingots, 12 diamonds, and 12 pistons to create what is not even as good as a macerator. But anyway, we get the rock crusher blocks, and we place them, like I said, 3 wide, 2 deep, 2 high, and that will then change it into our rock crusher. And hook up a little Buildcraft power to it, and we are on our way. So that's everywhere up to where I've gotten so far with Railcraft. Again, like I said, there's actually quite a bit that I plan on doing with it, but I am thinking that the first thing I want to do, though, is to do a little automation here with this. So first part is going to be, instead of having to manually come over here and add in our bottles to get our bottles of creosote, or creosote bottles out, and to withdraw our coal coke to put them up here, I think that would be a fun project. So I think we are going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and start to automate this. So we're going to get some of our Buildcraft piping, and we'll kind of take it one step at a time. So we'll figure out which different projects we want to automate, and then we'll go ahead and start working on it. First item we need is our filling station, and this again is a burp mod item that was added in to kind of go along with all the Buildcraft, Industrialcraft, and now Railcraft items. So that is created with 3 cobblestone, and 3 cobblestone, a lapis on the top and bottom, and a tank in the middle, and that will give us our filling station. Now I'm thinking what I'm probably going to do is we'll grab our CF foam, and maybe we're going to make this like a wall coming down here, so this will be a separate room, but we'll leave like an opening to see our coal coke ovens because they're kind of cool. And then we'll place, I think, I have to be careful how I do this, because for the fill machine to work, the bottles have to come from above to end up on the left side. Or was it from the left? I gotta remember now. I was just playing with this yesterday. They have to come in from either the top or the left side, otherwise they end up in the right, and when the right side is where we want our creosote bottles to end up in, so we can't have empty bottles over here. So let me look at that real fast. I will be right back. I want to make sure I do this right. Alright, so looking into it, it does indeed need to come in from the top. So that is what I was thinking, which means this needs to actually go back here. So we'll have a access into this room here. I'll make a door or something so I can come in, because this we'll be able to put quite a few bottles in, say, a diamond pipe right above it with we'll get a diamond chest here, sorry, that we can fill with bottles. And then how we work this out is we're going to have all of our, let's see, I need 3 of these first. Sorry if I'm kind of rambling as I think this out here. So we need 3 waterproof pipes coming in from the bottom. So 1 here, 1 here, and I believe I can technically place it anywhere. It doesn't have to be in the center, but I kind of would it just makes more sense to do it that way. And then we'll take, I don't really think I need golden pipes for this. That shouldn't really be quite necessary. So let's just get a few. I don't know how many we'll need, so we'll bring it down. These ones I think are going to come this way, but I'm going to need 1 iron. That's going to be waterproof, so I can continue to control the direction of it. And I may tweak things a little bit at some point here, but for the moment, and actually I will need a second iron there, and then these items will go into here. So all of our creosote oil will come down. And let me go do that real fast. And let me get rid of this. I hate that that's there up in the inventory, but with all the stuff that we have, it's almost a necessity on this server anymore. You have to have NEI. It's just, it kind of is what it is. So let's go ahead and make this real fast. I love the recipes are easier on Buildcraft than they ever were on the Better Than Buildcraft. Some of the I understand Flower Chad was a very big proponent of, I guess he would call it balancing, but you know, he'd like to say that Mojang made the game too easy, so he was trying to fix it. But sometimes I think things got a little excessively difficult, it would seem. Let's see. Alright, good. Those are all coming down here. I'm just going to have to put some Autarctic gates on these 3 to say fluid in the tank, pulse, and it'll send all of our fluids over here and into there. Our diamond chest is going to go up above here, right there, and we'll have a gate up here, and over here we're going to have it's going to be like the wooden coming out, and it's going to be pumping over to up there. have to think about how I want to do. I may move my power into the wall so that I can go up here, because I'm going to need access to that. So actually, I know I am going to have to do that. But we'll have then, this is going to kind of come up and go upstairs into a diamond chest above. We will place a construction, a cobblestone, I always forget the name of it. The cobblestone structure pipe. Sorry, right here, because we're going to have this gate here saying if items traversing, send a redstone signal. If this receives it, it's going to send a pulsing single pulse, which will move one bottle down each time a bottle moves out. And that'll prevent us from overfilling or any of that type of stuff. Our filled bottles will go up and get stored up top, and we won't have to do anything with our creosote oil anymore. This will be completely automated. And then we'll just have to move to our next step, which is going to be coal coke. But let me finish this real fast. I'm going to go get my structure pipe and my diamond chest and some other my gates, and we'll finish this part here up, and then we'll get started on our second part of this. Alright, part 1 of automation is complete. So the gates, simple, items in inventory, we send the pulser. That's going to put the creosote oil in. You look over here and it's filling up. As it gets full, it puts bottles in there, and I forgot to do this. Hold on. Need to pulse ourselves. Oh, wrong. Okay, let's see if this works. Cool, it did work. Huh. That little trick I learned the last episode. All right. So item in inventory. Let's get things moving. We'll pulse. Items traversing, red. That should, there we go. So we have items dropping down, and we have our creosote oil going up. And we continue to fill up our bottles. And it may take a little bit to catch up, because we have quite a bit of creosote oil up in here. But there we go. So those are all heading up there, and I've got this chest, which hasn't got its first one yet, but there we go. Cool. Alright, so stage 1 of our automation is done now. I no longer have to deal with our creosote oil. Alright, well that's good. You can see it dropping down. Now our next item that we have to work on, and I've already set up another chest up here and a spot to send pipes up. And I've adjusted our windows so I can balance out the room. So let me go grab my black paintbrush again. I don't like the things being uneven. Just, you know, just how it is. Wait for that one to dry up and then we'll go ahead. Oh, wow. Cool. And I should probably put one over there. Did I leave it over here? I just made me some single-use ones. There we go. And I know it's a waste, but I just wanted to do this as opposed to running around and using the sprayer and kind of just wasting it. And actually, let's head down and see. I'm curious about this now. If I go ahead and try to place one here where I've got the piping. No, okay. It would work over here where I've got cable, I believe. Or not. Maybe I can't place it this way, but I guess I could spray it into there. Yeah, not a big deal. Alright. Now the next thing is, get this out of my inventory, we now need to get our coal coke upstairs. So that's going to, I'm thinking, let's see, we need you. We'll go with stone. Do I have enough stone? I may have to go get more. Although I can also do this and get some stone out of the waterproof. And let's see, and I'm probably going to need this as well. So this is going to be going up this pipe here to the middle because we're going to be sending it upstairs. So I'll at least kind of go like this. Whoa. That could be trouble. We don't want it trying to feed back in, so these may have to be iron, just so we can ensure they're only going up. Can't tell. I'll have to do that one upstairs. Oh, I don't have anything for it to feed into yet. But at the moment, those are going up. Alrighty. And then I'm thinking if I go like this, and this, and this. Actually, I should probably move you over. Maybe like this. Because again, we only want this feeding one way. So let's see, we'll go to there. Ooh, that's not good. Okay. Alright, that means we have to move this one over here. No, I could have used like... Oh, no. Okay, fine. We'll go ahead and use the iron gate so we can specify where we want it to go. Alrighty. And it's already trying to head back up there. Alright, so we're gonna have to go across the floor. But again, these are the things we figure out as we're going through this. Reconnect this up again. Alright, I'm gonna do this real fast off camera and then I'll be right back. Alright. So we got this thing going now. Items in inventory, we send the pulsar. You can see we have our creosote oil heading up, bottles filling up down here, keeping a good amount. Also, you just saw that our coal coke was heading up. If we come up here, you'll see our new setup, which is a bit hectic, but we should see our coal coke. Yep, coming up. Well, actually, no, we see some steel ingots, but we don't have any there. Well, anyway, this is a maze of iron just to make sure that the things aren't connecting and touching each other, because all these items, all these blocks here will take the inputs from these. So I had to make them iron so that the items only go one way and not trying to go inside of them. So our coal coke comes up this middle and then 50-50 splits off to either side. And if we come back here, you'll see that this one will go into there, and on the other side it does the same thing. So the coal coke will fill up down here. Our iron ingots are feeding from this chest right here. The gate here on a redstone signal is going to send our pulsar, and just like down below, we weren't going to send the red pipe signal except when we get the items traversing. So it's going to be a 1-for-1. Every time it pulls out a steel ingot, it'll send in another iron ingot. And you can see we just got some coal coke. So we'll watch the process go through here. As soon as we get ourselves a steel ingot, it should light up. Why are you taking so long? Oh, there it goes. Nope. Okay. Well, that sucks. It only sent one. There we go. They're gonna give us one. Okay, so we got our ingot, and you'll see it'll start pumping out here. And as soon as it hits our pipe, it sends a redstone signal, which will then send us a 1 ingot, and then it turns off. So it's a 1-for-1. We got a steel ingot going in, being replaced by an iron ingot. Every time we get coal coke up here, it automatically feeds into our blast furnace. So this is all completely automated now. I just need to come up and fill this with iron ingots. And then down below, I'll show you where we're putting in our coal. Due to the size of everything, I couldn't really connect them all because we already had a lot of wiring. So what I did is I put one chest here with coal to feed these two. And that's just saying if it's low fuel, it's going to send the energy pulsar. And I'm not sure what it considers to be low fuel, but it seems to be keeping us at a decent amount of coal in there. Okay, looks like 57 is the magic number. Wasn't aware of that. And then over here we got another one. So again, then all I need to do is come over here and just make sure that we've got coal in our chest to feed in the event that it needs to send some stuff over. Not sure why it seems like it stopped in the middle here. But as you can see, we were getting coal coke up there, so it is working. Just for some reason, it seems like it's stuck in this position. No, these are all empty. Oh, there it goes. Huh. Oh, that's right. It takes 3 minutes. I forget how slow this is. Alright, but yes, so our system is now fully automated. So I may just leave this open. I was thinking of putting up a wall, but I don't see a reason to have to completely cover this. This is a work area. The area up here that we want to keep clean just has a few gates going up. Or not gates, pipe going up. But for the most part, we're clean. So here, creosote oil. And here, steel ingots. And then this is just kind of where I put all my extra stuff. And eventually I need to clean this up a little bit. And I think that's pretty much all I really want to do. I'm not going to go through the rock crusher thing here because it's pointless when I can go over my macerator with 12 overclockers and have this done in like a minute versus this thing taking a lot longer. And I don't worry about fuel either because I'm running off of solar. So I think we're good in here for now. We'll let this thing run and do its thing. I think we'll pull our steel ingots into here so we can keep an eye on exactly how much of these we have. Yeah, I think I have one more in here. And I'll do a lot of this more off camera. But but I think we got this as far as we really want to take it at the moment. As we get more items that we need to do, I may look into doing something with our rolling machines just to get them to run more, because right now it fills up pretty quickly on rails and things. I need to get some piping here as well. But I could always go beneath and run it maybe over to this side, throw a couple more diamond chests, so that it just kind of, again, I like to balance out the room. But yeah, so I really liking how this all is working. I definitely like when I don't have to do anything. I'm a big fan of automation, so at this point I can just let this go and then collect my items over time. Cool. So let me see if there's what else we want to do in this episode. Let me look a little bit more into some of our more. Let me look for a moment at more of the Railcraft stuff maybe I want to do here. So I will be right back. Alright, so I've did a little bit of clearing. We just had RenEvo just did his 24-hour live stream marathon for the children. Raised $1,000, which is awesome. But while I was hanging out there, not really, able to record, because we're all in there talking, keeping them entertained, keeping them awake and whatnot. So I kind of threw this together real fast. And it was an idea I had based off of Acatera's cobble generator. He had a tower of lava coming down next to a tower of water, and they kind of touched each other all the way down, and then a filler that surrounded it, collecting all, or basically emptying it because it was a glass, and then it would have obsidian pipes at the bottom collecting it. But it was pretty tall, and I wanted something that would actually kind of fit in with all my other types of buildings and stuff. So I tried a lot of different ways to try and find a way to make it horizontal, but the only way to really do it was to have towers like him, but enough of them so only the bottom layer or two were actually involved in becoming cobble. So this is what I came up with. And actually it's more than needed because this filler here with 4 engines power in it cannot get rid of all the cobble. I think it makes it all the way up to about this point. But that's fine. It still looks kind of cool. The other problem I ran into, and I have since cleared it out, but I was sanding it all underneath here to, at one point I had 6 recyclers going. And my initial design only had 4. And I've taken the recyclers out and moved them back over into my processing plant because since Buildcraft is updated with all the world anchors, I'm able to run my quarries now, and I didn't need this. This was just to try and continue to give myself scrap for my mass fab up there. But they all fit in over here, and they were getting pumped out from the back with these gates. But number one, they weren't pumping the scrap out fast enough. I had more items coming in than I could pump out. Although I'm apparently understanding now that over time this would have worked fine. The keeping them constantly on, they heat up like wood engines, and eventually they would have been fast enough to keep up. The other problem is once it got dark, my recyclers no longer had power because I didn't have enough power saved up to keep them powered through the night or a rainstorm. So once again, they would fill up. I had hoppers coming across, but they were getting overflowed and items falling out. And unfortunately, during the stream, after I'd gone to bed, not realizing that uh, something nearby was keeping this going with anchors. And I don't know what item it was, but it got to the point where the server almost crashed and RenEvo's nuke plant blew up. Took out 2 mass fabs and 2 MFSUs and all of his nuclear power plant, which I felt really bad about. So I gave him a whole bunch of UU to kind of make up for it, but that's why everything's turned off right now. Is until I can make this safe, I can't have it on. Now knowing about the engines, I think that might work, and I was going to put in a couple more medium solar arrays up top to keep enough power for these to keep running with an MFSU. But seeing as I can just run my quarries now, and that's more than enough to keep up with it, I'm gonna put this on hold for now. I went through and pretty much used up all of the coal I had in here. I'll head up and show you exactly how much of this stuff I have, but I'm not running my coke plant and my blast furnace now because I have plenty of creosote and I have plenty of steel ingots and steel plates, which is my next episode, which I'm getting ready for right now. We're going to be working with that a lot. So that's kind of sitting here. Haven't done anything over here yet. But yeah, those are the things I kind of did during the stream. And you know what? Before we end this episode and before I get on to my next project, I think, because it's going to probably be a little bit before I end up with another episode where I can actually work on this, let's go ahead and get our armor created. I've been itching to get myself this new quantum armor and stuff. So we're going to go through the recipes real quick, put the items together, charge it up, throw it on, and then we'll end this episode. And then my next episode has to do with all this empty space out here. So let me get my items and everything ready, and then I will be right back. Alright, so we are ready to start our armor sets. So basically, we'll start off with the nano suit first. The nano suit is required to be upgraded into the quantum suit. So our first item is going to be our boots. Our first item is the nano suit boots, and they are created with carbon plate on either side and a energy crystal in the center at the bottom. Our next item will be our nano suit leggings, which take carbon plates on either side and a energy crystal at the top. It just adds 2 additional carbon plates over the nano suit boots. The nano suit body armor adds 1 more additional carbon plate as well as the energy crystal here in the center, and that will give us our nano suit body armor. Finally, our nano suit helmet is created with the 4 carbon plates, 2 on either side, the energy crystal, and 1 piece of glass in the center. I assume that would be a visor, and that'll give us our nanosuit helmet. The key component in all of our quantum sets is iridium plate. Iridium plate is created from iridium ore. We get iridium ore by taking UU matter and placing it in our workbench like this. We then place 4 iridium ores in the corners, 4 advanced alloys, top, bottom, left, and right, and then a diamond in the middle, and that will give us our iridium plate. So it is a little bit expensive. To upgrade our first piece, which will be our boots, we need, first of all, another additional part, and this is our rubber boots. And these are simply created using rubber on either side and 1 wool in the center. We now take our nanosuit boots with those 2 rubber boots we just created, 2 iridium plate, and 1 Lapitan crystal, and we now have our quantum suit boots. The quantum suit boots are rather cool. They allow us to, first of all, be able to jump up to 9 blocks high when you select control when you jump, and they also will negate all fall damage completely, so they're like having our feather fall boots. Very nice. Our quantum suit leggings are then created using our nano suit leggings. We have 2 glowstone dust at the bottom, 2 iridium plates, 2 machine blocks, and 1 Lapitan crystal, and that will give us our quantum suit leggings. The quantum suit leggings allow the user to sprint at approximately 3.4 times faster than normal until the power is discharged. You can just fuel that up like the other items right here in our MFSU, and it is activated using the control button. Our quantum suit body armor is created by placing 2 iridium plate on either side at the bottom. We have 3 advanced alloys, 1 Lapitan crystal in the middle, and our nano suit body armor, and that will give us our quantum suit body armor. Our quantum suit body armor is pretty good as it's a protective item, and it will absorb a large portion of incoming damage as well as preventing the user from being lit aflame. So pretty much makes you invincible. So no need for getting, fire protection or any of that kind of stuff. This will take all our damage away and fireproof. Really nice. Our last item requires a new item we haven't yet to make, and that is our reinforced glass. That is made putting glass in everywhere except for the top middle and the bottom middle, and there we're going to put our advanced alloy, and that will give us 7 pieces of reinforced glass. We then take that reinforced glass, place it in the center at the bottom, next to 2 advanced circuits with 2 iridium plates above those, our Lapitan crystal and nanosuit helmet, and we now have our quantum suit helmet. And the quantum suit helmet is pretty cool. It gives you the ability to breathe underwater. It also provides you with food and cure effects. So that seems kind of a little OP, but we'll see exactly how much of those it provides, because that's pretty darn impressive. So let me get my helmet charged up here, and then we'll put everything on, and then we'll go play with this a little bit and see how much fun we can have. Alright, so I adjusted the zoom button. I moved it to my case so that it won't interfere with the fun. And now here we go. So here's our super fast sprint, which is pretty cool. And then of course we hit the control and jump. Oh man, that's somewhat ridiculous. Man, too much fun. Wow. Okay, well, oh good, we haven't used too much of it up already. Okay, so this is going to definitely make moving or getting to and from places a whole lot more fun. Yeah, so now we have our cool quantum armor set, and it fed me. Was missing a haunch, and it's now completely full, so it appears that while I'm wearing this, I won't have to worry about eating, or breathing, or healing. Wow, okay, cool. And then all I gotta do is recharge it instead of remaking more diamond versions of it, so we're good for armor for a while. So, that means our next step is what we're gonna do here. And that is the fact that I am out of oil, I'm pretty much out of fuel, and I need more. So, our next episode, we are going to be constructing a very large, fully automatic melon or pumpkin, haven't decided which yet, but farm right here, feeding into our new refining station to make our biofuel, as well as a cactus milk station for cooling all of our engines. So our next episode is going to be centering all along fuel and coolant. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. Definitely excited for our upcoming project here, but that's it for now. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.